I'm the Avatar.
We know.
Spoiler warning. There will be much discussion about Netflix's live-action Avatar, the Last Airbender adaptation, but no one could argue it's simple for novices to understand. Season 1, which condenses many of the original series episodes into just 8 here, is in a big hurry to get where it's going and isn't afraid to leave people behind. It does this by packing in a ton of backstory and exposition. Fortunately, we're here to assist with a comprehensive synopsis of Season 1, so you can quickly and easily grasp the main ideas. Have fun.
The Avatar must walk alone.
Subscribe to Movie Spy for more twist videos. Episode 1, Aang. In the first episode, we are introduced to Aang and the idea of the Avatar, a being with the ability to maintain peace on Earth by controlling the 4 elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Fire Lord Sozin, the head of the Fire Nation, plans to take over the world before Aang takes over the throne. Knowing that the next Avatar will come from their ranks, he launches a surprise attack to eliminate every airbender. With the help of his sky bison, Appa, Aang escapes this initial invasion, but he is trapped in a glacier for 100 years, during which the Fire Nation conquers most of the planet. Sokka and waterbender Katara find Aang just outside of Wolf Cove, a rural community. Prince Zuko, who is searching for the Avatar to gain entry back into the Fire Nation after being exiled by his father, Lord Ozai,
you will find, capture, and bring me the Avatar,
notices his awakening. When Zuko attacks Wolf Cove, Aang gives himself over to him, but Sokka and Katara come to his aid. After a quick tour of the now-demolished Sky Temple, Aang decides he needs to master the other bending arts in order to ensure his comrades' deaths weren't in vain.
The one person who can master all 4 elements.
Episode 2, Warriors. Aang travels to Kyoshi Island with Katara and Sokka in Episode 2 in order to gain mastery over the Avatar state. The people who live on the isolated island have kept Kyoshi's warrior teachings intact while cutting themselves off from the outside world. In the meantime, Iroh and Zuko go to a port in an attempt to get information from Zhao, the Fire Nation commander in the area. They do, however, tip their hands, allowing him to deduce what they are, after which he races to Kyoshi Island in an attempt to capture the Avatar first. By using Kyoshi as a channel, Aang defeats Zhao's army and saves the hamlet. Additionally, he gains additional knowledge about his deities and the location of their next destination, which is the Northern Water Tribes, as an important development is about to occur. At the conclusion of the episode, Zhao coerces Zuko into a partnership and, against Zuko's desires, tells Fire Lord Ozai, the Supreme Eminence, that the Avatar has returned.
the Avatar has returned.
Episode 3, Omashu. In Episode 3, we are introduced to Azula, the daughter of Fire Lord Ozai. It is evident that she despises her brother Zuko and plots against him the entire time. She even writes to Zhao to inquire about developments regarding his mission. We also go to Omashu, an Earth Kingdom city tucked into a mountainside and walled. An attractive man named Jet sneaks Aang, Katara, and Sokka in. It turns out that Jet is the head of a gang of freedom fighters that are stationed in the jungle. Katara falls in love with him right away. As what is thought to be the Fire Nation bombs Omashu on a regular basis, Aang makes the decision to stay in order to assist Mechanist Sai and his son Teo in uncovering the conspiracy. Sai and Jet are quickly accused of being the bombs, which causes discord in the group. It is revealed that Jet is the bomber, and he is trying to kill the king and Sai. Aang fights against Zuko, who has infiltrated Omashu with Iroh after Zhao heard a rumor of an airbender being spotted there, as Sokka and Katara attempt to stop him. After Zuko used his fire bending to draw attention to their struggle, the episode concludes with Aang being taken into custody by the Earth Kingdom soldiers.
Love is brightest in the dark.
Episode 4, Into the Dark. The fourth episode is more introspective and character-driven. The story begins with Aang and Iroh imprisoned. Iroh is transferred to an Earth Kingdom labor camp for prisoners of war, where, because of his notoriety as the Dragon of the West, he is mistreated severely by his captors until Zuko saves him. Meanwhile, Aang is brought to see Omashu's king, who happens to be Bumi, his boyhood buddy. But after a century of conflict, Bumi has lost his mind and is now challenging Aang to a fight to the death in order to establish his superiority as the Avatar. Meanwhile, Sokka and Katara make their way through hidden passageways beneath the palace, which are rumored to be haunted but actually lead to the palace thanks to a massive badger mole. They are able to break up the battle between Aang and Bumi is motivated to continue fighting the Fire Nation by Aang's faith in his friends. Additionally, Sai chooses to expose the Fire Nation surveillance network. Episode 5, Spirited Away. In Episode 5, the tone clearly shifts to horror when Aang, Sokka, and Katara enter a forest forest that the Fire Nation has destroyed and that serves as a tenuous bridge connecting the spirit world and the actual world. In order to explore the forest, which is home to a variety of creatures such as a three-tailed fox, a giant talking owl that only Aang can hear, a monster that is the spirit of the forest driven insane by its pain, and a sinister being known as Ko the Face Stealer, Aang projects his spirit as well as the spirits of Katara and Sokka astrally. Katara and Sokka are made to face their most painful memories. While the latter must relive the moment when her mother gave her life to save Katara, the former sees his father's disappointment in him. Being the Avatar, Aang is impervious to Ko's tricks and survives the mist to find Gyatso, who has stayed in the spirit world to assist him. Gyatso tells Aang that earlier avatars had battled Ko.
It is the hunting ground for Ko, the Face Stealer.
Relieving him of his sense of guilt over the destruction of the Sky Temple. Since Ruko was able to overcome him, Aang concludes that he must channel Ruko, even though the Fire Nation is home to his shrine. Aang travels to the Fire Nation by himself at the conclusion of the episode.
Is our own pain.
Episode 6 Mask. The strong and much-needed emphasis on Zuko's past is there in Episode 6. Zhao was given command over the hunt for Aang after Ozai elevated him to the rank of Admiral.
I am an admiral.
As a result, when Aang gets captured while interacting with Avatar Roku, a disguised Zuko frees him. After Zuko's father disapproved of a general's proposal to sacrifice an entire military regiment, the general issued a challenge to a duel. In the duel, he retaliated and displayed sympathy, but Ozai disfigured him as a warning. If that wasn't enough, he also banished him in order to boost his morale and gave him the crew of the unit that was supposed to be sacrificed.
And since you're so concerned with the 41st Division, take them with you as your crew.
Avatar Aang receives from Roku the totem of his mother, which Roku had stolen from him years earlier, which he needed to trade with Ko the Face Stealer. Aang returns to the totem of Ko after being set free from the Fire Nation and saying goodbye to Zuko. There, he releases all of his prisoners, including Sokka and Katara.
Thank you for coming to pay your respects to Avatar Crook.
Episode 7, The North. The penultimate episode opens with a fake-out, implying that Zhao's deception had resulted in Prince Zuko's death. But as we find out later, Iroh foresaw this, and Zuko is still alive and well-dressed as a member of the crew. As for the Northern Water Tribe, Arnuk, the chief, Master Pakku, the senior waterbending master, and Princess Yue, Arnuk's daughter, and the tribe's spiritual leader,
and this is my daughter, Princess Yue, our tribe's spiritual leader,
await them when Aang, Katara, and Sokka arrive at Agnikele, the tribe's capital. Yue, whom Sokka recognizes as the fox he spoke with in the spirit world, wins Sokka over right away. She kisses Sokka and admits she is half spiritual.
So, you're a spirit?
Katara, in the meantime, starts training with Yagoda and soon finds out that women are not permitted to fight in the Northern Water Tribe.
I'm sorry, but women don't fight. We use our skills to heal.
This disgusts her, so she issues Master Pakku a challenge to a duel.
I'm gonna challenge Pakku to fight.
Even if she ultimately fails, her performance garners praise from the audience. At last, Aang establishes communication with Kuruk, the past Avatar, who battled an evil force invasion in the spirit world, losing much of himself and his beloved Umi in the process. For this reason, Aang is unable to call upon him for assistance during the war. In addition, he tries to persuade Aang that the Avatar needs to battle by himself.
The Avatar must walk alone.
But Sokka and Katara are adamant about fighting by him. Soot starts to fall out of the sky towards the end of the episode. It is the arrival of the Fire Nation.
Soot.
Episode 8, Legends. The Fire Nation's attack on Agnikele, which involves their whole fleet and an airship Zhao has commissioned because of spies in Omashu, is the focal point of the climax. Sokka assisted Sai with one of his designs. Katara persuades Pakku to allow all of the women in the tribe to engage in combat, but the Fire Nation is preparing more than a simple assault. Iroh is informed by Zhao that this is the Ice Moon Night, a time when the moon and ocean spirits assume human form. He intends to destroy the moon spirit and take away the waterbender's abilities. Zhao succeeds in hiding the moon in this way. The Fire Nation gains the upper hand in the conflict. In order for the ocean spirit to channel through him and use the power of the Avatar, Aang surrenders to it. He transforms into a massive water Godzilla and destroys the Fire Nation's fleet, but he is left imprisoned as a resentful ghost condemned to travel the world in search of a lifelong companion. Despite having to give up her mortal body in the process, Yue rescues the day by emerging as the new moon spirit. The fight was won, but a great deal of harm and devastation was inflicted. expected. At the very least, Iroh killed Zhao after Zuko defeated him in a single battle. Aang decides to accompany Sokka and Katara on their mission going forward. It is revealed at the conclusion of the episode that Azula's conquest of Omashu was achieved by deceit, as evidenced by the attack on Agna Kele. The Fire Nation's conquest is far from finished, as Sozin's comet approaches. That concludes our analysis of Season 1 of Avatar, The Last Airbender. How did you feel about the entire season? We would adore hearing from you.
The Avatar must walk alone.